Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our second final for the day. This is the Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Final, one of the feature events on our program here for Willinga at Juandah Plains. Please join me in welcoming our finalist. Number one out in the final, Rick Hopkins, riding Oaks Spin and Dole, comes to us from Ridgelands. 2, Gordon Bales, Brandy's Spoonful, making the trip from Bowenville. Cabra competitor number 3, Matthew Moffat, Curry's Connection. 4, we'll see Huey Miles, Smart and Spicy, made the trip up from Tamworth. Number 5 in the final, Cameron Webster, riding Freddie on behalf of Cameron and Sarah Webster from just down the road here. 6, Jason Lindley, Malunga's Rosanna on behalf of Evan and Kim Acton. Number 7, Joe Marr, riding Joe Marr, Jack Toda, made the trip from Mount Marshall. 8 in the final, Jai Johnson on his own entry, Lily, Indian competitor. Number 9, the lovely Kylie Graham, riding her entry Metallic Moon. Kylie makes a home at Taroom. Number 10, Mafra competitor Michael Hiscock on Michael and Vicky Hiscock's entry in Mewburn Buzzer. 11 will see Tamworth competitor Bruce McNaughton and Dry Dust. 12, Bryony Puttycombe, Bungabi Chance, owned by Peter Comiskey. Number 13, Troy Palmer will ride Binia Shaquille on behalf of the Palmer and Hislop Partnership. Number 14, Hugh Miles will ride Smooth Talker on behalf of Willinga Park. Number 15, Tom Wagner will ride Littlefoot on behalf of Tom and Ruth Wagner from Banana. Number 16, our very own John Turvey rides Willinga Park Flow on behalf of Terry and Jeanette Snow. We wish them well. Number 17, Mark Buttsworth rides Units Honey on behalf of the Buttsworth and Shakespeare Partnership. 18, Matt Moffat will ride Ductorious for Kurt and Erica Henrihand. Number 19, Ben Hall will ride Martina on behalf of Angus Rains. 20, Mick Southern comes in on his own entry in Nearbro President. Number 21, Harvey Wakeford rides Tellin on behalf of Masab Metals. 22, we will see Tamworth competitor Ben Tapp and his entry Supernova. Number 23, on his second entry, will be Joe Marr back again on Pros and Cons on behalf of the Marr and Picton Partnership. Number 24, Huey Miles takes another ride on Tilly, his own entry. 25, Joel Hill on Stylish Diva. 26, Grantham competitor Jamie Gray will ride his entry Highway to Hell. Number 27 in the draw of this Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Draft is Jason Lindley riding Malunga's Twinkle on behalf of Evan and Kim Acton. 28, Wyatt Young will ride Stone Acres. 29, Troy Palmer will be back on the Willinga Park entry in Wildcat. And number 30 will be Stephen McNamara riding Lethal Confidence. 31, Kylie Graham will take her second ride on Con Mello. 32, John Turvey will be back on Willinga Park Fable for Terry and Jeanette Snow. 33, Mark Buttsworth and Kubar Performance Horses entry in Branchvale Metal Alloy. 34, we'll see Hugh Miles ride again on June. 35, Evan Hiscock's Cartel. 36, Nebo competitor will be back Pete Comiskey and PC Polaris. And our final competitor in this Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Draft will be number 37, Stuart Frame, riding his entry, Exceed. I'd also like to welcome to the arena our wonderful judges for this Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Draft, Mr. Tim Hollis from Tamworth and Mr. Zane Haberman from Moseley Hills at Springshaw. Tim and Zane have overseen proceedings in this wonderful maiden draft, so we welcome them and we wish them all well in the final. Ladies and gentlemen, this is them. This is our maiden finalists for the inaugural event here, the Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Draft, a feature maiden in the Campdraft program, and I'm sure some very, very wonderful scores and horsework coming our way in the next hour or so. We wish them well. Put your hands together as we are led out by number 1, Rick Hopkins, the Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Campdraft finalists. We are not too far away from a start.
We just have a couple of teams drafts that we would like your team details, please. Harry Larnich, Linda Knight and Hugh Miles. When you have 5 minutes, if you wouldn't mind coming to the Secretary's office and seeing me regarding your team's draft entry, Harry Larnach, Linda Knight and Hugh Miles.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen. 37 of the nicest maiden horses in the sport at the moment. We wish them well. We're not too far away from a start. We will get cattle into the yards. Very, very kindly have some front gatemen in our sponsor in Phil Kelly and Nick Wormington. So thank you to the Colliers Agribusiness team. We are not too far off a start. Lauren Newton, if you're available and could duck back to the Secretary's office, we would love to see you. Thanks, Loz. Rightio, looking over his cattle. This is competitor number 1 in the Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Campdraft final. This is Rick Hopkins riding his entry, Casey Hopkins' entry, in Oaks, Spin and Doll. Rick makes his home at Ridgelands. Following Rick, number 2, Gordon Bales, Brandy's Spoonful, You Stand By. Likewise, number 3, Matthew Moffat and Curry's Connection. And that's him, ladies and gentlemen, first competitor in this final. That was Rick Hopkins, and his entry, Oaks, Spin and Doll, will have a score of 20.5 for cutout, 59 for horsework, 3 for the course, a total of 82.5. 20.5, 59 and 3 for an 82.5 in round 2. With an 87.5 in round 1, they go away with a 2-round aggregate of 170 points for Rick Hopkins and Oaks, Spin and Doll. Working in camp now, this is Gordon Bales riding Brandy's Spoonful. This particular entry is a Chisholm mare out of a Spinifex mare. She's a 7-year-old mare owned by Gordon himself, who makes his home at Bowenville. Matthew Moffat moves into the camp. He rides Curry's Connection for J&A Penny. Stand by number 4, Hugh Miles and Smart and Spicy. Gordon, we can give you a 21 for cutout for Gordon Bales and Brandy's Spoonful with an 88.5 in round 1. They go away with a 2-round aggregate of 109.5. 109.5 for Gordon Bales and Brandy's Spoonful. Looking over his cattle now, this is number 3 in the final, Cabra competitor Matthew Moffat. Matt is riding Curry's Connection. a maiden mare. She's 5 years old. By Conman out of that one more Curry mare and is owned by Jason and Amy Penny. I got the chance to catch up with Jason last night, so I know he's here and very excited to watch this wonderful mare be competed here on this occasion by Matthew Moffat. Competitor number 3, Hugh Miles, you stand by. You're going to ride Smart and Spicy at number 4. 5, Cameron Webster's Freddie. Number 6 will be Jason Lindley, Malunga's Rosanna, and 7, Jomar on Jomar Jack Toda. Outside's the call, though, for Matty Moffat and Jason Penny's entry, Curry's Connection. Thanks, Matt. Score there for Matthew Moffat and Curry's Connection on behalf of the Pennies. 22 for cutout, 58.5 for horsework, 3 for the course, a total of 83.5. 83.5 in the final with an 87.5 in round 1. Matt Moffat and Curry's Connection go away with a 171 aggregate. 171 points for Matthew Moffat and Curry's Connection. Hugh Miles we watch. Competitor makes his home at Tamworth and is riding on behalf of Carolyn Doonan. Their entry, Smart and Spicy. This mare is by Dual Smart Ray and out of a D-Mac Daddy mare. We wish them well. Huey Miles riding Carolyn and Peter Doonan's entry, Smart and Spicy. I'm sure with many other avid camp draft watchers, the Doonans would be online watching the live stream. Their lovely mare, Smart and Spicy, competing here, number 4 in the draw of the Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Campdraft. Cameron Webster, you stand by on Freddie. You're number 5. Likewise, number 6, Jason Lindley, Malunga's Rosanna. Score there for Hugh Miles and Smart and Spicy. 16 points for cutout, 57 for horsework, 3 for the course, a total of 76. 16, 57 and 3 for a 76 in the final with an 88.5 in round 1. Hugh Miles and Smart and Spicy go away with a 164.5 average. 164.5 for Huey Miles and Smart and Spicy. Looking over his cattle now, this is local competitor Cameron Webster, riding Cameron and Sarah Webster's entry, Freddie. Freddie is an 8-year-old gelding by Cat in a Hat, owned, as I said, by Cameron and Sarah themselves. Live just up the road here, almost a neighbour to Juandah Plains. We wish them well. This is Cameron Webster and Freddie. Jason Lindley moves into the camp, number 6 on Malunga's Rosanna. Stand by 7, Jomar Jack Toda. Number 8 will be Jai Johnson's Lily. Number 9, Carly Graham Metallic Moon. And 10 will be Michael Hiscock and Mewburn Buzzer. On course, though, negotiating his way across from the second peg, looking for a gate. This is local competitor Cameron Webster and Freddie. And there we go, folks. Put your hands together. Some beautiful camp drafting happening in this Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Draft. Score for for Cameron Webster, and Freddie, 21.5 for cutout, 61.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 87, 21.5, 61.5 and 4 for an 87 in the final with an 89.5 in round 1. Cameron Webster and Freddie set the main with a 176.5, 176.5 aggregate for Cameron Webster's Freddie. Working on course now, this is Jason Lindley riding Willinga's Rosanna on behalf of Evan and Kim Acton. Following Jason, number 7 in the yard, Joe Ma, Jack Toda, standby 8, Jai Johnson and Lily. Looking for another gate here in this final. Thank you, Jason Lindley. We will have a score for you and Willinga's Rosanna, the Evan and Kim Acton owned entry. From our wonderful judges, Mr. Zane Haberman and Mr. Tim Hollis. A big job judging this wonderful final. A score of 22 for cutout, 61.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 87.5. 22, 61.5 and 4 for an 87.5 for Jason Lindley in the final with an 88.5 in round 1. They get a 2-round aggregate of 176 points. 176 for Jason Lindley and Willinga's Rosanna. Mount Marshall competitor we're watching, number 7, Joe Ma, riding his own entry in Joe Ma Jack Toda. Jack Toda is a 7-year-old ivory mare owned by Joe and Rose. Joe will be followed by number 8, Jai Johnson's Lily, standby 9, Kylie Graham and Metallic Moon. Just an alteration there to Jason Lindley's score, please, folks. They go away with a 22, a 59.5 and a 4 for an 85.5 in the final. So 22, 59.5 and 4 for an 85.5 with an 88.5 in round 1. Their 2-round aggregate is 174 points for Jason Lindley and Willinga's Rosanna. Joe Ma's looking for a gate here on Joe Ma Jack Toda. Looking for a second peg, I should say. Jai Johnson moves into the camp. Number 8 on Lily. Standby number 9, Kylie Graham, Metallic Moon. Thanks, Joe Ma. Score for Joe Ma's Jack Toda. 21 points for cutout, 44.5 for horsework, 2 for the course, a total of 67.5. 21, 44.5 and 2 for a 67.5 in the final with an 88.5 in round 1. Joe Ma and Joe Ma Jack Toda go away with a 2-round aggregate of 156. 156 points there for Joe Ma and Joe Ma Jack Toda. Jai Johnson is out on course riding his entry Lily. Into the camp, please. Number 9, Kylie Graham, Metallic Moon. Stand by. Number 10, Michael Hiscock and Mewburn Buzzer. Bruce McNaughton will ride Dry Dust at 11. 12 will be Bryony Puttycombe, Bungarby Chance. Number 13 will be Troy Palmer and Binia Shaquille. Score there of 21 for cutout for Jai Johnson and Lily. 21 points in the final with an 87.5 in round 1. They go away with a 2-round aggregate of 108.5. 108.5 for Jai Johnson's Lily. Working in camp now. This is Taroom Lady, Kylie Graham, riding her entry Metallic Moon. A lovely mare we saw have much success in the cutting pen. Now makes the transition and under the ever-capable Kylie Graham. This is Metallic Moon. Number 10, standby, Michael Hiscock, Mewburn Buzzer. Likewise 11, Bruce McNaughton, Dry Dust. The winner of the Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Draft will take home a beautiful Ride Tough buckle and a saddle kindly donated and made by Terry Standing. The highest cutout trophy is a fire pit designed and made by Taroom Welding Works. So plenty on the line here today in this Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Draft. For Kylie Graham and Metallic Moon, they have a 15.5 in the final, 15.5 with an 89.5 in round one. There's a two-round aggregate of 105, 105 for Kylie Graham and Metallic Moon. Mafra competitor is in camp now. This is number 10, Michael Hiscock, and Michael and Vicky Hiscock's entry, Mewburn Buzzer. Buzzer is a 6-year-old gelding out of that great mare we saw win a Warwick Gold Cup in Hazelwood Advice, and this particular gelding is by Acres of Impact. We wish them well. This is Michael Hiscock and Mewburn Buzzer. Bruce McNaughton, you stand by on Dry Dust at 11:12. Bryony Puttycombe, Bungarby Chance, you're not too far away. Score there for Michael Hiscock and Mewburn Buzzer. 17 for cutout, 59.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 80.5. 17, 59.5 and 4 for an 80.5 in the final. With an 88 in round one, Michael Hiscock and Mewburn Buzzer have a two-round aggregate of 168.5. 168.5 for Michael Hiscock and Buzzer. We turn our attention now to Tamworth competitor Bruce McNaughton, riding Bruce and Julie McNaughton's entry, Dry Dust. Lovely young conman colt out of that great mare we saw Bruce have much success on in Gold Dust. Bruce himself is a highly celebrated and accomplished camp drafter, having won multiple world championships down there at Sydney. He won the big one up there at Paradise Lagoons and every other event you want to win. This is Bruce McNaughton. He is riding his entry, Dry Dust. Number 12, Bryony Puttycombe, you be ready. You're next in on Bungarby Chance. 13, Troy Palmer, Binia Shaquille. 14, we'll see Hugh Miles ride Smooth Talker. 15, Tom Wagner will be on Littlefoot. And 16, John Turvey, Willinga Park Flow. Unfortunately for Brucey and Dry Dust, they go out with a no score in this final, so they will hold on to their 88.5 from round one. Whilst it's so wonderful to see such a beautiful crowd here at Juandah Plains today, enjoying finals day, it's been also really exciting to have over 16,000 people dial into our live stream in the last 3 to 4 days of drafting. So to everyone at home watching on, we welcome you and we're so glad that you've dialed in. Next year we sure hope you're here face-to-face with us and maybe even meet us up there at the Outstation Waterhole for a cold drink as we watch the finals. Here on Finals Saturday, this is the Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Final. We are watching competitor number 12, Nebo Lady Bryony Puttycombe, and she is riding Bungarby Chance. Holly Tapp, can you please make your way to the Condabri Beef Sponsors Marquee? Holly Tapp, can you please make your way to the Condabri Beef Sponsors Marquee? On course, this is competitor number 12, Bryony Puttycombe, riding Bungarby Chance on behalf of Peter Comiskey. And Nebo Lady needs no introduction to the winner's circle. Previous ACA Lady Rider winner, she's won all the big ones. This is Bryony Puttycombe. It won't be the last we see of Bryony today. That is Bungarby Chance, and Bryony Puttycombe will have a score shortly put. 13 moves in the yard. This is Troy Palmer and Binia Shaquille. Stand by 14, Hugh Miles, Smooth Talker. A score there for Bryony Puttycombe and Bungarby Chance. 21.5 for cutout, 62.5 for horsework, 4 for the course for a beautiful 88. 21.5, 62.5 and 4 for an 88 in the final, with an 89.5 in round 1. Bryony Puttycombe and Bungarby Chance go to the lead with a 177.5. 177.5 points for Bryony Puttycombe and Bungarby Chance, and at this stage, that sets the main. But this gentleman will be keen to give that a rattle. This is Troy Palmer, competitor number 13, and he is riding Binia Shaquille. This particular entry is a colt by Binia Impressive Destiny, that wonderful horse we saw Troy have so much success with. And out of the mare in Jabel Shakira Spin, the Seligman Spin mare. Again, a highly celebrated mare that Troy won lots with. This is Binia Shaquille and Troy Palmer riding on behalf of the Palmer and Hislop partnership. Troy is one of the valued riders in the Willinga Park team. On this occasion, though, he rides his own entry, Binia Shaquille, number 13. 14 moves into the yard. Huey Miles rides Smooth Talker. 15, Tom Wagner, You're Not Too Far Away on Littlefoot. 16, John Turvey, Willinga Park Flow. And 17, we'll see Mark Buttsworth and Units Honey. Thank you, Troy. We will have a score through for Troy Palmer and Binia Shaquille. Score for Troy Palmer and Binia Shaquille, 20.5 for cutout, 60.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 85. 20.5, 60.5 and 4 for an 85 in the final. An 88 in round 1 gives Troy Palmer and Binia Shaquille a 173 aggregate, 173 points for you there. Troy Palmer and Binia Shaquille. I'm quite certain Mr. Terry Snow and the team would be watching this particular entry quite closely. This is the Willinga Park entry in Smooth Talker, ridden on this occasion by Tamworth horseman Hugh Miles, and number 14 in the draw. Smooth Talker is by Smooth Talking Style, and out of that wonderful mare we saw in Honey They Are Aching, owned by Willinga Park. This horse has spent some time in the cutting pen as he makes his transition into this wonderful camp draft sport. This is Huey Miles riding Willinga Park's entry, Smooth Talker. 15, Tom Wagner, You're Next on Littlefoot. Stand by, Johnny Turvey, number 16 on Willinga Park Flow. What about it, ladies and gentlemen? Put your hands together for some beautiful Willinga Park cattle and a beautiful Willinga Park horse. Score will come through for Hugh Miles and Willinga Park Smooth Talker of, we will come back to you with that score, of 17.5 for cutout, 62.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 84. 17.5, 62.5 and 4 for an 84 in the final, with an 88.5 in round 1. Hugh Miles and Willinga Park Smooth Talker have a 172.5 average. 172.5 for Huey Miles's entry, Willinga Park Smooth Talker. Tom Wagner's on course. He is competitor number 15. Comes to us from Banana. This entry is named Littlefoot. Littlefoot is a gelding, a 14-year-old gelding by Mandana, owned by Tom and Ruth themselves. Into the camp goes 16, Johnny Turvey on Willinga Park Flow. Stand by 17, Mark Buttsworth, Units Honey. 18 will be Matthew Moffat on Ductorious. 19 will see Ben Hall and Martina. 20, Mick Southern and Nebo President. And number 21 will be Harvey Wakeford's Tellin. Score there for Tom Wagner and Littlefoot. 21 points for cutout. 52.5 for horsework, 3 for the course, a total of 76.5. 21, 52.5 and 3 for a 76.5 in the final. With an 88.5 in round 1, Tom Wagner and Littlefoot go away with a 2-round aggregate of 165. 165 for Tom Wagner and Littlefoot. The man of the moment, this is John Turvey, riding Terry Snow's entry in Willinga Park Flow. Following Turv, 17, Mark Buttsworth, you be ready on units Honey. Likewise, 18, Matthew Moffat and Ductorious. Unfortunately for John Turvey and Willinga Park Flow, they go out with a no score in the final. We do get to see John a little later. He's got another entry in this final, so we wish them well. They go away, though, on this occasion, just with their score from yesterday of 88 for John Turvey and Willinga Park Flow. Once again, our wonderful cattlemen jump in, the Willinga Pastoral Co team jump in and clean some cattle out of the yard before we proceed with competitor number 17, Mark Buttsworth and Units Honey. Units Honey is owned by the Buttsworth and Shakespeare Partnership. I know Shaky is on site and he'd be very keenly watching this combination. Units Honey is by Katz Murata and out of Stylish Unit. Wonderful mare. We saw so much success with Mark in the saddle and we wish them well on this occasion. This is Units Honey, owned by Pete Shakespeare and Mark Buttsworth. Competitor number 17. 18, Matty Moffat, you stand by on Ductorious. 19, Ben Hall, Martina, you're not too far away. On course for Kingaroy competitor Mark Buttsworth and the Shakespeare Buttsworth owned Units Honey into the camp. 18, Matthew Moffat, Ductorious. Ben Hall, you stand by on Martina. 20, Mick Southern, Nearbo, President. And 21, Harvey Wakeford, Tellin. Looking for a gate now, though. This is Mark Buttsworth and Units Honey. And that's a good one to leave up to our judges, Mr. Tim Hollis and Mr. Zane Haberman. They have overseen proceedings of this Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Draft. We'll have a score for you shortly, Butsy. Of 22 for cutout, 60 for horsework, 3 for the course, a total of 85. 22, 60 and 3 for an 85 in the final. With an 89 in round 1, Mark Buttsworth and Units Honey go away with a 174 aggregate. 174 points for Mark Buttsworth and Units Honey. Matt Moffat's back in the yard on his second entry in this final. He rides Ductorious. This mare is owned by Kurt and Erica Hanrahan. And, of course, lovely Stella. This is a maiden mare. She's 6 years old and by Boone Too Soon out of Wicked Duck. This is Matty Moffat riding on behalf of Kurt and Erica Hanrahan. Their entry, Ductorious. Competitor number 18 in this final. 19 moves into the yard, Ben Hall's Martina. Number 20, Mick Southern, you stand by on President. Likewise, 21, Harvey Wakeford, Tellin. And 22, Ben Tapp and Supernova. Score there for Matt Moffat and Ductorious on behalf of the Hanrahans. 22 for cutout, 59 for horsework, 3 for the course, a total of 84. 22, 59 and 3 for an 84 in the final. 88.5 in round 1 gives Matthew Moffat and Ductorious a 172.5 aggregate. 172.5 for Matt Moffat and Ductorious. He didn't waste any time. He is on course proper. This is number 19, Muddaborough competitor Ben Hall and Martina. This entry is owned by Angus Rain, being ridden here today by one of the greats of our business, Mr. Ben Hall. Into the camp, 20, Mick Southern on Nearby President. Standby 21, Harvey Wakeford, Tellin. 22 will be Ben Tapp's Supernova. 23, Joe Ma on Billabilla Cooler, Pros and Cons. And we've gone straight through the middle. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. These maiden horses are certainly putting on a clinic for us today on these wonderful Willinga Pastoral Co. cattle. Beautiful line of Hereford cattle. Score there for Ben Hall and Martina, owned by Angus Rain. 22 for cutout, 61.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 87.5. 22, 61.5 and 4 for an 87.5 in the final, with an 88.5 in round 1. They get a 2-round aggregate of 176. Ben Hall and Martina go away with a 2-round aggregate of 176. Mick Southern we watch. He rides Nearby President, the conman, 7-year-old conman gelding, owned by Mick himself, who comes to us from Wingallen over there in the Red Country. Following Mick, 21, Harvey Wakeford, You Be Ready on Tellin. 22, Ben Tapp, Supernova, You're Not Far Away. Likewise, 23, Joe Ma, Billabilla. Billabilla Cooler, Pros and Cons. Hugh Miles will ride Tilly at 24, and Joel Hill will be 25 on Stylish Diva. Crossing over, though, and looking for a gate here in this final, the Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Draft. That is Mick Southern and Nearby President. Thanks, Mick. We'll have a score shortly for Mick Southern and President. And a score is in for Mick Southern and Nearby President. 22 for cutout, 60.5 for horsework, 4 for the course for an 86.5. 22, 60.5 and 4 for an 86.5 in the final. He had a whopping 91.5 in round 1. So Mick Southern and Nearby President go to the lead with a 178. 178 there for Mick Southern and Nearby President. That's going to set the main at this stage. Number 21, Harvey Wakeford's Tellin, though, I am quite sure would like to try to rattle that on. His entry is called Tellin. It's a Tell Us Again out of Jasmine. Bred by Hugh Miles, owned by Masab Metals. This is Harvey Wakeford. Harvey makes his home at Charters Towers. He's called for the gate and on course proper. Number 21, Harvey Wakeford's Tellin. 22 into the yard, please, Ben Tapp and Supernova. Standby 23, Joe Ma, Billabilla Cooler, Pros and Cons. Harvey Wakeford and Tellin put up a score of 23, 61.5 and a 4 for an 88.5 in the final. 23, 61.5 and 4 for an 88.5 with an 89.5 in round 1. Harvey Wakeford and Tellin equal lead 178. 178 points for Harvey Wakeford's Tellin. At this stage, it's an equal top with Mick Southern and President. Ben Tapp, we watch. This is Tamworth competitor. He is riding Supernova. Ben's a previous 2-time winner of the Warwick Gold Cup and previously has won a Gold Cup on this entry's mother in the wonderful mare Cool Dust. So we wish them well. This is Ben Tapp riding Supernova, number 22 in the draw. Joe Ma moves into the yard, number 23 on Billabilla Cooler, Pros and Cons. Huey Miles standby on Tilly at 24. 25 will be Joel Hill, Stylish Diva. 26, Jamie Gray will ride Highway to Hell. And 27, Jason Lindley, Malunga's Twinkle. Thanks, Ben. Score will come through for Ben Tapp and Supernova. Boy, oh boy, we're seeing some good drafting here this afternoon. 21, 62.5 and 4 for an 87.5. 21, 62.5 and 4 for an 87.5 for Ben Tapp in the final, with a 90.5 in round 1. Ben Tapp goes to the equal lead with a 178. 178 for Ben Tapp and Supernova. Jomar, we watch. He rides his entry in Billabilla Cooler Pros and Cons. This particular horse is by Smith Family Congesman out of that mare in Leilika's Pro. 6-year-old horse owned by Robin Picton and Jomar. Unfortunately today, though, in the final, they go away with a 21 points only, with an 87.5 in round 1. We have a 2-round aggregate of 108.5. 108.5 for Jomar and Pros and Cons. Hugh Miles moves into the yard, riding the Garrison Quarter Horse owned Tilly. This particular mare is by Conman and out of a Spinifex mare, ridden today by Tamworth horse trainer Huey Miles. Joel Hill, you stand by at 25 on Stylish Diva. 26 is you, Jamie Gray, Highway to Hell. Stand by at 27, Jason Lindley, Malungra's Twinkle. We can't thank our major sponsors of this maiden draft, Colliers Agribusiness, enough. Phil Kelly and Nick Wormington are actually on the front gates for this final, so we're so grateful to have Phil and his team on site here at Juandah Plains, enjoying the wonderful spectacle of camp drafting, but also their support not only of the event but of the overall Willinga Pastoral Co. We're so grateful to the team at Colliers Agribusiness as we watch another run outside. This is Hugh Miles, number 24, riding the Garrison Quarter Horses owned Tilly. Joel Hill moves into the yard at 25 on Stylish Diva. Jamie Gray, you stand by on Highway to Hell, number 26. Score there for Hugh Miles and Tilly, 15.5 for cutout, 50 for horsework, 3 for the course, a total of 68.5. 15, 50 and 3 for a total of 68.5 in the final. With an 88.5 in round 1, Hugh Miles and Tilly go away with a 157 aggregate. 157 points for you, Huey. Joel Hill, we watch, competitor number 25, riding Stylish Diva. Into the camp, please. 26, Jamie Gray, Highway to Hell. Jason Lindley, you stand by on Malungra's Twinkle at 27. 28, Wyatt Young, Stone Acres. 29, Troy Palmer's Wildcat. Steve McNamara will ride Lethal Confidence at 30, and Kylie Graham's back at 31 on Conmello. 20 points for cutout there, Joel. 20 points for Joel Hill and Stylish Diva. With an 88 in round 1, they go away with a 2-round aggregate of 108. 108 points for Joel Hill, Stylish Diva. Outside is the call for number 26, Jamie Gray, and his entry, Highway to Hell. This lovely horse is by Dilray, and out of that Impact mare that we all saw so much of in One Hell of a Spin. Owned by Jamie Gray himself. We wish them well. Grantham competitor. This is number 26, Jamie Gray and Highway to Hell. 27 moves into the yard. Jason Lindley, Malunga's Twinkle, standby 28. Wyatt Young and Stone Acres. Thank you, Jamie. We will have a score for Jamie Gray and his entry, Highway to Hell. A score of 22 for cutout, 62 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 88. 22, 62 and 4 for an 88 in the final. 88.5 in round 1 gives Jamie Gray and Highway to Hell a 176.5. 176.5 for Jamie Gray and Highway to Hell. Working in camp now, this is Jason Lindley, competitor number 27, riding Malunga's Twinkle, a 9-year-old mare by Seligman Spin out of Soda Twilight. Malunga's Twinkle is owned by Evan and Kim Acton. Ridden here by Gracemere competitor Jason Lindley, competitor number 27. Wyatt Young moves into the yard. He's 28 on Stone Acres. Standby 29, Troy Palmer and Wildcat. Maiden for maiden finalists, please be aware there will not be a drag after this final. So we will complete this maiden final, do the presentation of the maiden, and we'll be straight on to the maiden for maiden final. So maiden for maiden riders, saddle up, brush his tail, you're not too far away. Score there for Jason Lindley and Malunga's Twinkle, 22.5 for cutout, 58 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 84.5. 22.5, 58 and 4 for an 84.5 in the final. 88.5 in round 1 gives Jason Lindley, Malunga's Twinkle, a 2-round aggregate of 173. 173 for Jason Lindley and Malunga's Twinkle. That was Tamworth competitor number 28, Wyatt Young and Stone Acres. 22.5 for you there, 22.5 for Wyatt Young and Stone Acres with an 88 in round 1. They have a 2-round aggregate of 110.5. 110.5 for Wyatt Young, Stone Acres. Big thanks to Wyatt. He was part of the judging team there for our restricted open this morning. Some wonderful competition under the watchful eye of Wyatt Young and Mrs. Lindy Hick. Troy Palmer we're watching. He is riding Wildcat. Another wonderful Willinga entry here. This is Willinga Metallic Wildcat. Out of Lyra Park Delta, that wonderful mare we saw Stevie Comiskey have so much success on, including a Gold Cup. And this horse is by Metallic Cat. Only started competing this year under the guidance of his jockey, Troy Palmer, owned, though, by Willinga Park. This is Troy Palmer, competitor number 29 on Wildcat. Steve McNamara moves into the yard on Lethal Confidence. Kylie Graham, you're not too far away, number 31 on Conmello. 32 will be Johnny Turvey's Willinga Park Fable. 33, Mark Buttsworth, Branchvale Metal Alloy. And 34, Hugh Miles will be on June. How about that one, Mr. Terry Snow? I'm sure you enjoyed that. That was Troy Palmer and Willinga Park's entry in Willinga Metallic Wildcat. Hey, and a nice score too. 22 for cutout, 63 for horsework, 4 for the course. Total of 89, 22, 63 and 4 for an 89 with a 90.5 in round 1. Troy Palmer and Wildcat go to the lead, 179.5. 179.5 for Troy Palmer and the Willinga Park owned Wildcat. Steve McNamara is in camp. He's number 30 in the draw, riding his entry, Lethal Confidence. Steve's had some great form this year, winning the maiden series down there in the Stockhorse Nationals. We wish them well. This is Stephen McNamara and Lethal Confidence. Kylie Graham moves into the yard at 31 on Conmello. 32, John Turvey, you're not too far away on Willinga Park Fable. Likewise, 33, Mark Buttsworth, Branchvale, Metal Alloy. Outside, though, this is Tamworth competitor Stephen McNamara riding Lethal Confidence, looking for a gate in this final of the Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Draft, the inaugural event here at Willinga at Juandah Plains. Thanks, Stevie Mac. We will have a score from our judges, Mr. Zane Haberman and Mr. Tim Hollis. Of 22 for cutout, 57 for horsework, 3 for the course, a total of 82. 22, 57 and 3 for an 82 in the final, with an 89.5 in round 1. Steve McNamara's Lethal Confidence go away with a 171.5. 171.5 for Steve McNamara and Lethal Confidence. Kylie Graham is back on her second entry in this final, Conmello. Lovely Conman mare out of that wonderful Mellow Oak, a line that's had so much impact on Kylie's breeding program. This is a 6-year-old mare, owned and ridden here by Kylie Graham, number 31 in the final. 32, Johnny Turvey moves into the yard on Willinga Park Fable. 33, Mark Buttsworth, Branchvale Metal Alloy, stand by. Likewise, 34, Hugh Miles and June. Taroom Horsewoman we watch, though. This is Kylie Graham riding Conmello. Score there for Kylie Graham, Conmello, 21 for cutout, 55 for horsework, 3 for the course for a 79, 21, 55 and 3, a 79 in the final. With an 87.5 in round 1, Kylie Graham's Conmello go away with a 166.5. On course proper, Willinga Park's Fable, ridden on this occasion by John Turvey, owned by Terry and Jeanette Snow. This mare is by One More Playboy, and out of one of Terry's favourite broodmares in Posh. We wish them well. Johnny Turvey, part of the Willinga Pastoral Co team, piloting his way around here looking for a gate in this Colliers Agribusiness final. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pretty great afternoon of camp drafting. That was John Turvey riding Willinga Park's entry, Willinga Park Fable. We'll have a score for you shortly, Turv, of 19 points for cutout, 63 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 86. 19, 63 and 4, a total of 86 in the final. 88.5 in round 1 gives John Turvey and Willinga Park Fable a 2-round aggregate of 174.5. 174.5 for you, John Turvey, Willinga Park Fable. Working in camp now, heading out there, looking for a first peg. This is the Kubar Performance Horses owned Branchvale Metal Alloy, ridden here by Mark Buttsworth. This particular horse is a metallic cat colt out of a Doodle Ray mare. He won the Cloncurry Stockman's Challenge up there last year. Been a horse that's won a lot in the cutting pen already. Under the ever-capable direction of Mr. Mark Buttsworth. Kingaroy competitor. No stranger to the winner's circle. Crosses over, looks for a gate in this final. This is Branchvale Metal Alloy, owned by Kubar Performance Horses, piloted by Mark Buttsworth. Thanks, Butsy. Score will come through for Mark Buttsworth and Branchvale Metal Alloy of 22 for cutout, 60.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 86.5. 22, 60.5 and 4, a total of 86.5 in the final. With an 87.5 in round 1, Mark Buttsworth and Branchvale Metal Alloy go away with a 2-round aggregate of 174. 174 points for Branchvale Metal Alloy and Mark Buttsworth. He's back again with his, well, I think we're up to 4 entries, in fact. This is Hugh Miles riding June on behalf of John and Jen Corbett. This entry is by Metallic Cat out of Spinneray. That wonderful Dual Ray mare of John Corbett's had a lot of impact on our industry and on our breeding programs. This is June, ridden here by Hugh Miles in the final of the Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Draft. Hugh's a horse trainer based at Tamworth. Into the camp goes 35, Evan Hiscock on Cartel. Evan will be followed by 36, Pete Comiskey, PC Polaris, and our final competitor will be 37, Stuart Frame and Exceed. Looking for a gate, and another one goes straight through the middle. Hey, diddle diddle. Hugh Miles, June, we will have a score for you very shortly. Score there for Hugh Miles and John and Jen Corbett's entry, June. 19 points for cutout, 63 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 86. 19, 63 and 4 for an 86 in the final. 88 in round 1 gives Hugh Miles, June, a 174 aggregate. 174 points for Hughie Miles, riding the Corbett family's entry, June. Evan Hiscock's in camp now. He rides his entry, Cartel. Evan now makes his home up at Collinsville in North Queensland. Previously from down in the south, Mafra, Victoria. PC Polaris and Pete Comiskey, you move into the yard with Evan outside. 37, Stuart Frame, our final competitor. Please be ready. Thank you, Evan. Evan Hiscock and his entry, Cartel. Competitor number 35 in this final go away with a lovely score of 22 for cutout, 62 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 88. 22, 62 and 4 for an 88 in the final with an 88.5 in round 1. Evan Hiscock and Cartel have a 2-round aggregate of 176.5. 176.5 for Evan Hiscock. Pete Comiskey we watch, competitor number 36 on his entry, PC Polaris. Stuart Frame, you be ready. You're next in, and our final competitor in this Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Draft. Pete is riding PC Polaris, a young gelding by Polaris out of that wonderful conman mare, Brittany. This horse's mother won a gold buckle down there at the Willinga Park Show at Bateman's Bay. PC Polaris. We watch under the guidance of ACA Open Rider about 22 times, I reckon, is our Pete Comiskey. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, one of the greats, that is Pete Comiskey, and PC Polaris will have a score for you shortly of 21.5. Cancel that. We'll have a score for you shortly, Pete. Stuart Frame moves into the yard. He is our final competitor in this Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Draft. He is riding his entry, Exceed. Score now in for Pete Comiskey, PC Polaris. 21.5 for cutout. 63.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 89. 21.5, 63.5 and 4 for an 89 in the final. 88 in round 1 gives Pete Comiskey and PC Polaris a 2-round aggregate of 177. 177 points for the master himself, Pete Comiskey and PC Polaris. Once again, maiden for maiden competitors, please ensure that you are ready. We will do the presentations of our maiden and then go straight on with that maiden for maiden final. So please be ready, maiden for maiden finalists. On course now, our final competitors in this Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Draft is Stuart Frame, Monto competitor, riding his own entry, Exceed. Exceed is a 6-year-old gelding by Wallabar XL. He's won a futurity and placed in open age to us. That was Exceed, and Stuart Frame will have a score for you shortly. Stuart? Of 16 points for cutout, 62.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 82.5. 16, 62.5 and 4, a total of 82.5 in the final, with an 89.5 in round one. Stuart Frame and Exceed go away with an aggregate of 172. 172 for Stu Frames, Exceed. Won't be too far away from getting us some results, team. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the winners and place getters of the Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Draft. First place, Troy Palmer, riding Willinga Park's entry Wildcat. Equals second to fourth, Mick Southern and Nearbo President. Ben Tapp and Supernova and Harvey Wakeford and Tellon, all with beautiful scores of 178. In fifth place, Bryony Puttycombe, Bungabi's Chance. Sixth and seven is Pete Comiskey, PC Polaris, and Evan Hiscock on Cartel, both with scores of 177. Eighth and ninth was Jamie Gray, Highway to Hell, and Cameron Webster's Freddie, both with 176.5. And in 10th place, Ben Hall and Martina, with a score of 176. So that's our top 10. We congratulate them and we welcome them down here to the presentation area. We will do this maiden presentation straight away. Maiden for Maiden riders, you're up next. Once again, Troy Palmer, congratulations. Wildcat, owned by Willinga Park, 179.5. Take out the very first Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Draft here with Willinga at Juandah Plains. Also, Matt Durkin, we will require you and Dulcie as the winners of the cutout from round one. Also, Terry Standing, we'd love for you to join us for this presentation. The kind saddle maker and donator, we welcome Terry Standing to the presentation area also, please. Can we also grab the Colliers Agribusiness team? Phil would love to see his team down here, please. Colliers Agribusiness, if you could come to the presentation area also. Thank you. Big thank you once again, Tim Hollis and Zane Haberman. A big job overseeing such a large number of runs over a few days. We certainly thank Zane Haberman and Timmy Hollis, two of the nice guys at camp drafting. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the winner of the Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Campdraft, Mr. Troy Palmer, riding Willinga Park's own entry in Wildcat, with a wonderful two-round aggregate of 179.5 points. In equal second to fourth position, Mick Southern and Nearbo President, Ben Tapp and Supernova, and Harvey Wakeford and Tellin, owned by Masab Metals. In fifth place, Nebo competitor Bharani Putticombe and her entry Bungabi Chance. Equals sixth and seventh, Pete Comiskey, PC Polaris and Evan Hiscock on Cartel, both with wonderful scores of 177 points. Equal eighth and ninth was Highway to Hell, ridden and owned by Jamie Gray and Cameron Webster and Freddie, both with scores of 176.5. And in 10th position, Ben Hall, riding Martina, with a score of 176 points. We welcome the Colliers Agribusiness team here. They are presenting the winners and place getters in this event. Can we also please welcome to the arena the winner of the cutout, Mr. Matthew Durkin, riding Dulcie Style, owned by Amy Jemison, with a beautiful cutout yesterday, 223s to take out the cutout prize. We welcome Matt to the arena. Thank you once again to Colliers Agribusiness. Phil Kelly and his team are here sashing our winners and place getters. The winner, Mr. Troy Palmer, will receive a beautiful Ride Tough buckle. Also, big thank you to Terry and Jackie Standing, who have made and donated a beautiful saddle to the winner. We once again thank and welcome our judges, Mr. Tim Hollis and Mr. Zane Haberman, overseeing proceedings here in the last couple of days to find us a winner with indeed a massive score of 179.5 for a maiden camp draft. I think you'll agree the competition here this afternoon has been second to none on these beautiful Willinga Pastoral Co cattle. A great event to kick things off as we roll into our afternoon of finals. And as our judges congratulate the winners and place getters of this event, I would like to hand the mic over to the winner of the first Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Camp Draft, Troy Palmer, and Willinga Park's entry in Wildcat.
Thanks, Heidi. I'd just like to thank the sponsors, Colliers, Saddle Maker for a beautiful saddle, Terry and Jeanette Snow for allowing us to ride at such a beautiful venue. They put a lot into camp drafting, a lot into breeding and buying good horses and genetics, and Terry's trusted me with trying to source some horses for him, and we've sourced some great horses out of some good, and yeah, it's paying dividends now. To Andrew and Courtney Turley up here, Juandah, they've got a beautiful place of Terry Jeanette's here that they run for them. They've done an immaculate job having the facility right and looking so good, and the cattle and everything, it's credit to Andrew and his team, all his team here. Unbelievable cattle in the ground. Wayne McDonald, he's flown up with Terry in the jet half a dozen times over the last 12 months getting this ground right. And Maka, he works on the ground at Willinga and he's done a great job with the ground here along with all the other guys that are up here at Juandah. Thanks to all the competitors and good luck for the rest of the afternoon in the open final.
That's him, ladies and gentlemen, our winner of the Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Draft, Mr. Troy Palmer, riding Willinga Park's very own entry in Willinga Wildcat. Big thanks to the Colliers Agribusiness team. Phil and his team are on site well, for the remainder of the day, that's for sure, so make sure you catch up with them. To our saddle sponsor, Terry and Jackie Standing, we thank you so much for your generous contribution to this wonderful event. We'll get some photos. We will once again get ourselves ready before we go on with that maiden for maiden final. So the afternoon just keeps rolling into good camp drafting, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to the winners and place getters. Big thank you to our judge, Mr. Zane Haberman from Springshaw, and Mr. Timmy Hollis all the way up from Tamworth. How about it, ladies and gentlemen? We'll get a lap of honour from our winner. Leading us out, Troy Palmer riding Wildcat. In second to fourth, Mick Southern, Nearbro President, Ben Tapp Supernova, Harvey Wakeford, Tellon. In fifth place, Bryony Puttycombe, Bungarby Chance. Sixth and seventh, Pete Comiskey, PC Polaris, Evan Hiscock, Cartel. Eighth and ninth was Jamie Gray's Highway to Hell and Cameron Webster's Freddie. 10th place was Ben Hall's Martina. And the winner of the cutout was Matthew Durkin, riding Amy Jamison's entry, Dulcie Style. That's them, the winners and place getters of the Colliers Agribusiness Maiden Camp Draft, the inaugural event here, Willinga at Juandah Plains. We'll take a few more photos, we'll get ourselves ready, and we're not too far away from a start for that big maiden for maiden final.